How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Fourever Arsenal podcast. Obviously, as you can see, James hasn't made it today, but we've got a very adequate sub in. Dan, you've been on the show before as well, innit?
Yeah, done a couple of these, man. Yeah, a couple of these. But
Not since
pleasure,
it's moved
man.
on to YouTube, but you have done a couple.
Yeah, it was back in the old days, mate. But nah, it's all good, man. Good to be back. Always good to see you free and chat Arsenal, man. So looking forward to it. And how's it going, people? Is something I keep using, and people keep saying to me, "Stop copying Turkish." So I need to find a new line, man. I need to find a new line.
I got a question, Turkish. Sorry, welcome, Dan. By the way, I got a question, Turkish. We've gone from premium to now YouTube. Is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
Sideways, surely.
No, I think it's an upgrade because more people get to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that one, man.
But they get it for free.
Yeah.
Paying customers, are they not valued more?
Listen, I don't know, but you start once again. You started on the wrong foot, mate. The comments are going to be on to you again straight away. They're going to be like, firstly, Jordan wants Edison in midfield. Now he wants to charge us for it. What the fuck is going on here?
I'm just saying, if something is paid for, they value it more. That's all I'm saying. And the caliber of comments was decent last season. That's what I'm saying.
Say no more.
Anyway.
Say no more. Big up Jordan back again as usual, and big up Lee Judges. He's made it back. He was over there in Bordeaux, in Norway, freezing cold, a delayed flight, no sleep, but he's here. Lee, you good?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, like that freezing cold rain it was, like, and we was, this is a story. I had about 10, 11 people around me, right? We went 1-0 up, and I said to them all, like, what do you reckon the final score would be? They all went 2-0, right? All went 2-0, and I thought, yeah, I've got a chance for it. Then I realised, I'll soppy up there. He went 2-0, then it was never going to happen. Thank you very much. Like, nailed on for a 2-0 that was. But then I realised you've jinxed it. We ended up winning 1-0. And, yeah, but other than that, a very, very good day. A good trip, very good trip. But, it was cold, wet. Yeah. And
at least you can get a nice cheap meal when you're up there, though. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, don't. That was like, There's no. I'll tell you what. The only thing cheap was one of. I'll tell you, the only thing that was cheap was one of. I'd have to say it, like, shall I say it? One of Julian's t-shirts was the only thing cheap about that trip. I'm telling you, like, what I mean? There was nothing cheap about it whatsoever. It was unreal. £20 for a burger and chips. £20. Unbelievable. I don't know,
£20.
£20.
Listen,
I'll tell you what, I feel like I've been robbed every time.
Was it nice, though? Was it a nice burger and chips?
It was a nice burger and chips. I'll give it. It was a nice burger and chips. And I had a sweet and sour, and that's all it was sweet and sour. Do you know when you? I don't know about you guys. Sweet and sour. It was a watery sauce. I'm not a lover of watery sauce. You know what I mean? Sweet and sour sauce. A lump of chicken which you had to cut up yourself and dip into the sauce, and boiled rice twice. £40.
Yeah, well, I'm in neighbouring Denmark at the moment, and I can concur.
That's why you're home early. The old Channel 4 budget don't go that far, I'll tell you.
It doesn't, mate. It doesn't. But I can concur that the prices for food are. We're from London, and I never thought I'd go somewhere where even London prices look cheap comparison to out here in Scandinavia. It's a lot.
How much is a pint over there?
I've not bought a pint. I don't drink, but I don't think they're far off. I think Norway is slightly more than Denmark, but they're expensive here. They're expensive here.
Yeah, I wish I could say it was a performance worth the price of the food, the weather, the delayed flight, but the performance wasn't great. One of our poorer performances of the season, but we did get the 3 points. We are top of the group in the Europa League. Played 3 games. We're going to play PSV next double header. But yeah, Lee, since you were there, what did you make of the game? What was it like?
I thought it was a poor game. It was a tough watch. I didn't think there was too much going on. I think there was a little bit to do with the pitch, the situation. I think that it was just about getting the job done. But it was like, honestly, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it was like watching Arsenal 2 years ago. I thought I'd gone back on UK Gold Channel for a little minute there. It was really poor. It was like it was nothing could get you going. I thought it was lackluster, but got the job done. It reminded me of sort of games like when we lost 1-0 to I don't know, I can't remember. Wolves or Burnley 0-0, one of those sort of games a couple of years ago. Like just the quality of player weren't there, but we got the job done. The pleasing thing for me was Turner played really well in goal, made a great save, and he looked a little bit more assured. But I don't know if it was the pitch guys or whatever, but we was in an end where it was there's no roof, and you guessed it, yeah, it started raining. So it was a tough fixture really, but got the job done, and I think that's all you can really say. In it, professional job, would you say? I think so. I think that we got it done. I have to say they missed some chances as well. They a couple of real clear cut chances. So we rode our luck a bit as well, I suppose. So listen, I don't think it's ever going to be stuck in my memory bank, and I'm pretty sure it ain't going to be for a lot of Arsenal fans. But job done.
Yeah, job done. 3 points. Jordan, Dan, thoughts quickly on that game. Obviously, the Leeds away is the main topic of the day, but we did get the 3 points against Bordeaux. There's not really much to. Well, I've just asked a question, but I think there's not really much to take from the game. Lee's right, Jordan.
I haven't got much to say on this, but I want to pull yourself up and Rob, and I think even Lee. I saw some of the comments you guys made after the game, and I'm hearing stuff like they're a tough team, tough place to go, difficult game. I'm thinking, what am I listening to here? I don't buy this nonsense that because they've not lost a home game for 14 matches, it was a difficult game. It was a difficult game because we made it a difficult game. Whether our eyes were half on the weekend's game against Leeds or the pitch, I don't know. But that shouldn't be a difficult game. I'm not disrespecting them. They're a decent European team, fair enough. But if we're going to be serious about being a top 4 team or even better, we can't be struggling against these sorts of teams. Listen, not every game's going to be great football, 3-0, 4-0. I accept that. But when I hear people talking about, that was a difficult game, that was a tough game, they made it hard for us. They're not a bad team. We need to raise our standards. That's all I'll say on that game.
I get you, but at the same time, that is true. They did make it hard for us. We were poor.
I think we made it hard for ourselves.
We were poor, 100%. We were definitely poor. Even in my interview, I said, if you look at the chances created and the quality of the chances, they should have really won the game. But when you couple up, it's an away tie, it's cold and it's raining and it's a heavily rotated side, and
it was quite a strong side. It was
stronger than expected. It was stronger than expected for sure. But I just feel like all in, I'll take the 1-0. It's not necessary.
I'll take it.
I'm not walking away praising the team in terms of performance, but what I am praising them for is at least you held out. Lee's right. They missed some chances, gilt-edged chances that we had no say in, over the bar, wide, with Pellegrino in the first half. But I think over a course of the season, you're not going to, like you said, you're not going to play better than the opposition every single time. This is Bordeaux, this is Europa League, and we do aspire for more, Champions League and better. But I think we take it and we move. They did make it hard for us, in my opinion. We were also poor, hence a 1-0. But yeah, Dan, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I kind of tend to side with Jordan on this one, just for the pure fact that if we want to be Champions League team, we can't be coming away from Bordeaux and Glimpton thinking, oh, that was difficult. They made it tough for us there. I think the most disappointing thing for me was the team news was actually quite strong and we still struggled. I feel like it just proves that even with a couple of players in, the drop-off is massive. I mean, we put in Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah. They're not Martinelli or Jesus. We see Laconga. He's just not a defensive midfielder. I really like him on the ball. I think he's really calm. I think he's really collective. I think he shows composure. But I don't see him putting it. I think he put 0 tackles in so far in every single game he's played. He's not that type. He's not a little Lucas Torreira at your heels. He's not a Thomas Partey. He's not a Patrick Vieira. He's not a Gilberto Silva. I don't really know what he is, man. And saying that, I actually felt he played all right. It's weird. He come across at the thought, actually, you look all right. But then I think, what did he do? apart from some nice passes and a shocking shot. What did he actually do? What does he do? Does he drive us forward? No. So there's a massive drop off there. So it's difficult. I think the two positives to come out from the game player-wise was probably Matt Turner and Rob Holding. I thought the two of them actually did all right. And I've questioned what Matt Turner's about. I don't like his kicking. I think he flaps from a few crosses. I've not been convinced from early signs, but I think he played really well last night. I was really impressed. So I suppose you can take positives in that way. And the main positive is that we got through the game. But I worry about our squad depth. And last night has showed me more evidence that we need to keep this first 11 fit, man, badly.
No, I also agree with you there with the squad depth. It was obviously a problem heading into the last day of the transfer window because we tried to add someone in, and we made a couple bids. Maybe I think it was 3 bids in total. So squad depth is definitely a problem. I agree there. But we can only hope for the best with a World Cup to come in between now and January. I can't even lie. A couple injuries, yeah, it can unravel things. But like I said, we have to keep fingers crossed that if any injuries occur, it's in positions that we have some depth in. Like, let me not even say like and wish anything on anything. But let's move forward to Leeds away, because it'll be back to the Premier League 11, I assume. Jordan, I see you.
Can I? No, just because you both mentioned their squad depth. I think it's looking like Reece James and Trent are not going to go to the World Cup, which means that increases the chance of Ben White going to the World Cup. So how much he features the World Cup, we don't know. But this is the reason why I'm still, and it sounds ridiculous, I'm still not, and I've never been convinced we are bankers for top 4. Because I think, as Dan says really well there, when it's going really well for us, we can't be touched. But let's just imagine we get to February, March, and we're 3-4 players down, in particular midfield. And I totally agree with everything that Dan said there about Laconga. I think he's a nice, neat, tidy player. Yeah. But if Partey and he I won't name are out for the extended period of time, and he's got to play 2, 3, 4, 5 games, I know Elneny will be back by then, hopefully. But I'm concerned. So I think our squad depth is a bigger issue than I think has been flagged. And I think that the game in midweek in Europe, I think just highlights the drop-off. It's not massive, but it's big enough that I think that our form could be severely impacted.
I agree. And I just want to elaborate to that but that's why I think that Arsenal fans are keeping their feet on the ground on this, because there is that performance there you see yesterday. And you think to yourself, well, if we do get a couple of injuries, we're back to where we were, and it is a big worry. You know what I mean? Like Jesus not playing, he raises the standards. I actually see him raise the standards in the first game when he came on a sub when we was 2-0 up and still run around like he was. It was 0-0. I think that he's just got that energy about him and all that. And I was disappointed with Laconga last night. I know it sounds a bit harsh and everything like that, but he needs to really step up. He needs to step up in these games and really put in performances and convince not me, but like and us, but the manager that he is the real deal, and he's not. I thought he was neat and tidy yesterday, but I don't know. I've said I don't like that about him. He was safe in everything that he done. He wasn't really like bursting front. It wasn't prepared to make the telling pass. It was all safe, like play it 5 yards here, 5 yards there. And I know you can have a go at Eddie and all that, but what service did Eddie get yesterday? He was just chasing down bits, you know what I mean? And at the end of it, there wasn't no one in there that could create and do there. And Vieira actually played in the role of Xhaka, and he just didn't really perform at all, I was
going to say, I think it would be harsh if we just leave this podcast saying that Laconga was poor in midfield, because he wasn't just the only one that I thought Vieira and Ødegaard were shocking in parts. I mean, Vieira, did he touch the ball whole game until he come off? I was just like, is this guy actually on the pitch? Like, it was so poor. Him and Nelson was so poor. It was just disappointing for me, that. And I had last season, I thought Laconga, I felt a bit sorry for Laconga last season, because I felt like he was basically thrown in at the deep end a few times, treated quite badly by Arteta in certain games, playing well, then not playing again, throwing him next to Patino against Nottingham Forest, putting him on his own when Xhaka was at left back against Brighton. And he's done that a couple of times. And I felt like yesterday it was kind of like doing that again, really.
Yeah,
just hold
exactly
on your own.
know.
Just do what you can on your own. Vieira and Ødegaard are going to give you no defensive cover. They're just going to play as high eights and just do what you can. And I think you got to be exposed again. So I think you have to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah,
but I worry for
100%.
what his position is, man. I worry what his position is long term.
I agree. Like, you know, if he probably plays alongside Parse or he plays alongside Xhaka in that game, he does okay. But even in those games like last week, he needs to just up his game. Do you know when? I know it sounds silly, and when Vieira first come onto the scene, you think, wow, what a player. When Martinelli first come on for the first 10 minutes, you think, well, what a player. He doesn't do that with me, Laconga. I just think he's a nice, neat player, but is he going to take us to the next level? I'm not so sure, and that's my big worry for him. Like, you know, and as for Ødegaard, I thought Ødegaard worked very, very hard yesterday, but again, you know, very wasteful in the final third. Very, very wasteful. That's something that he's got to pick up on his game. I'm not, you know, digging him out or anything like that because he's been brilliant at times, but he you know. I felt he was poor last night, like, you know what I mean, especially coming back to Norway. But listen, they weren't the only ones, and you know, maybe they. I don't know. I don't sense with you guys that they probably played with like knowing that they've got a big game Sunday.
I was gonna ask you guys. Do you guys give them a little bit of a pass because they did win the game, they did get a clean sheet. They got out there with no injuries. They have got a big game on the weekend.
Yeah.
Or do you think actually we're not really, and they have been excellent. They've had a really hard week, Liverpool and Spurs in a week, and you know, that's impressive. Or do you see it as actually we can't really afford to be giving our players a pass for a performance like that because we got to be, you know, 100 every single game?
No, I'm with, like, we won the game. Difficult circumstances, move on, forget about it. You know what I mean? I think that good teams do that. You know what I mean? Not every team plays well. Sometimes, you know, win ugly and you win. We've not been accused to do that. You know, so we've done it. For me, I don't. You know, change when a manager leaves. When a manager leaves his best player at home, mentally that tells you something. You know what I mean? And I think the players know it as well, like, you know what I mean? So look, they've got the job done. They got the points on the board, three wins out of 3, 2 of them away from home. You know, they're doing all that they've got to do, you know, and qualify for it. It's all about qualifying, isn't it?
And being top, yeah. So we miss out.
Yeah, being top, yeah, exactly that. Beat PSV. We win our next 2 home games, boys. We've won the group, so I don't look at any other thing than that, really. Like,
yeah, not much to dwell on for me. But Leeds away now. I think what it is with me in the Europa League is, in seasons gone past, because we've been so poor and I didn't expect anything in the league. And I'm not saying I expect anything more than a top 4 battle or, you know, to finish top 4 in the end of the season. But now things are going well in the league. I just look at the Europa League and say to myself, just get through the group. We move into the knockout round, and that's when the starting 11 start playing week in, week out. And obviously then you get tested a bit more with Partey's fitness, hopefully Jesus as well. Key positions where the depth is not in quality is quite a drop-off, to say the least, like we've mentioned. But yeah, Leeds away. Aside from Emil Smith-Rowe, I think we've got a clean bill of health, if I'm not mistaken. So
El Neni and Smith-Rowe.
Oh, El Nene, yeah, that's the long term. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, what are you lot thinking? In terms of the left back situation, obviously last week we played Tommy. Tierney was expected to start that one. He played against Bordeaux. What are we expecting on Sunday? Any chance Zinchenko's back and go straight in?
Not for me.
I'd play Tierney. I'd go Tierney on this one. I think Tommy has to serve the purpose in the Liverpool game. 1, because defensively he's solid, and I think 2, he, with his height, the crossfield ball that Liverpool love to get Salah in behind, I think his height was used for that purpose as well. I think I'd go back to a traditional left back. in this one personally. Tierney's done nothing wrong when he's played the last couple of games.
Do you not look in it though that Tomiyasu didn't start yesterday, or do we not look into that?
No, maybe he will start, but I personally would play Tierney. Yeah, you're probably right. That probably is a sign that Tomiyasu is likely to start, but I personally would go back to a left back.
I think
in
if Rafinha was there, Tomiyasu would play because he's a right winger that cuts in on his left. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, Leeds have got a right winger that cuts in on his left. So I imagine Tierney will play this one. And my question, I still don't know that people have answered yet, is if Zinchenko was fit, does Tomiyasu play against Liverpool? Because it wouldn't surprise me if Zinchenko would have played if he was
probably,
fit.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at it like that, is Tomiyasu now our left back then? Because if Zinchenko wouldn't have played if he was fit, then Tomiyasu is now our left back. Is that what we're saying? I don't think we are. I think we're saying that it was tactical. So it's a mad one for me to see where we're going with this one. I think it should be Kieran Tierney because he's our best left back, in my opinion. A lot of people would say that Zinchenko is better, and then after last week's performance would say Tomiyasu's better. For me, I think Kieran Tierney is still defensively and going forward probably the best balanced left back that we've got. Certainly good defensively. And I think that Zinchenko is probably the best on the ball, and Tomiyasu gives you discipline and nothing going forward. So we've got kind of three different options there, which is fantastic to have. But for me, I would go with Kieran Tierney. But it wouldn't surprise me if Tomiyasu keeps his place because he was epic at the weekend. Absolutely sensational for me.
What were we expecting? Obviously, it's a Leeds side that started the season brightly, but then their last win was the 3-0 win against Chelsea. Since then, they've lost 3 all away games, and they've drawn their 2 home games, 0-0 and 1-1. What are we expecting on Sunday?
3 points. 3 points, Turkish. 3 points.
Yeah. I think it's got to be 3 points. I don't think Leeds have got that much quality. I think what they have is a legacy still from Bielsa of a high intense energy team. They have tweaked their system slightly. It's not quite as gun ho under March as it was under Bielsa. But I think, and I've commended the guys for this all season, as long as we can match their work rate or outwork them, I don't really know what else they have in their locker. And I would expect us for our quality to come through. We're on form. We're in a really good run. So, I mean, this is the sort of game where it'll be loud. They'll be up for it in the first 20 minutes. Shut them up. Show them who's boss. Get a nice early goal. And I just don't see from there on in any other result apart from an Arsenal win. And again, if we're serious about getting top 4 minimum, these are the games where I expect a performance and bare minimum a point. Bare minimum. I'll take a good performance and a point if so be it. But really, we should be beating Leeds away. That's not me being arrogant. I'm just being ambitious.
Facts. It's facts as well. I mean, we scored. Did we score 7 goals last season against these guys? So this season, with a better side going into with more momentum, I would say that we've got a good chance of that. All I will say is that the last time we did put 5 past them away, they were depleted, absolutely depleted at Christmas time. COVID, loads of injuries. They're a bit different under Jesse Marsh than they were Bielsa in the fact that they're not as expressive now. They're a lot more harder working in midfield. They've got that kind of triangle of like Moreno and what's his name? Rocker, is it? And Tyler Adams, who just literally don't stop running. Yeah. And then you've got that Harrison and Aronson even side that are just workhorses as well. So they have got a lot more of a hard working side. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's been good for them and been scoring for them as well. So
isn't he suspended?
Oh, is he?
I don't know. He didn't play last game, so is it just that game he's missed?
Okay. Oh, maybe. Okay. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I think he might be back, but I do get what you're saying, and I do believe that this has got to be a 3 points for Arsenal if we really are serious about trying to put the pressure on Man City. I do think as well with Leeds that they are a team, as well as the next 2 teams we've got after that in Southampton and Forest, that do leak goals this season still. So I'm expecting to score some goals on Sunday. I really am.
Yeah.
Massive couple of weeks. Massive couple of weeks this now, because I think we're playing 3 games because of the Man City game being called off. Don't forget, if we can get the win on Sunday, then Manchester City and Liverpool are teeing off after that. Not so much for the titles, but we're looking at that as Jordan says. You know what I mean? Like we could actually be more points in front of Liverpool, which is a good thing going for top 4. And then of course in midweek, because we don't have Manchester City, Manchester United and Tottenham tee off against each other. So, if we can get the result against Leeds and then, back that up with wins against Southampton and Forest, we could actually be looking at going into the World Cup break first or second. And I'll be honest with you, and we'll all be really honest about that. If someone had said you will be first or second going into the World Cup, you'd have took that very, very much. 100%. So the opportunity is there for us now to do that. So, I expect us to do it.
I was going to Lee made the point I was about to make in terms of we have to, although people don't think we're on the level of Manchester City, whilst we are still top and in control, City are the team we have to be keeping close to. So we have to look at their results until we don't. Now, there's a chance Liverpool may raise their game in that game on Sunday and take points off City, which makes our game against Leeds, for me, even more important. And to Lee's point about the games we've got coming up, I think we have to go into the World Cup with a nice little chunky lead at the top. And the games we've got coming up, I mean, is there any reason? And again, people may call me arrogant here. Is there any reason why we can't win all 4 of these games coming up?
No.
I think do you know what I mean? We can win all 4 of these games. And if we win all 4, will City win all 4 of their games? I don't know who their fixtures are. Maybe, maybe not. But if we can go into the World Cup with a 4, even 5-point lead.
I think it's a great point. And, Lee made a great point there as well. The fact that the Man City game has been cancelled or postponed means we can rotate. It massively helped us. We can now rotate right the way up to the World Cup every few days. And, the games at the midweek say that the other teams can't do that now. So actually getting that game postponed has done us a bit of a favour, to be fair.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, when I looked at Tottenham, Liverpool, Man City in the space of a few weeks and then it getting postponed, I said, I welcome that. Obviously, we are in form and they are just behind us. So it would have been some game having it next week, considering we are the top 2 at this moment in time. Tottenham not too far behind as well. But yeah, Leeds is a funny one because I think the way they play just tends to fall into our trap, and that's why it tends to be goals. And I expect that again. On Sunday. The thing is, there's just something in the back of my mind that it's too good to be true. This start to the season, that's why I say, Leeds are you confident? Because as confident as I am, and as positive as I've been this season and the development I've seen, the Premier League is still one of the toughest leagues in the world, if not the toughest. And we usually say any team can take points off of any team on their day. But I won't be pessimistic about this one. And I think it's a bit too early to move into predictions. But yeah, Dan, what do you think about... you give me your prediction. James has already given me his. So when we go into the predictions, I can go through them. But what do you think about Sunday prediction-wise? Do you think it's going to be a walkover? Do you think it'll be tight? Clean sheet?
Yeah, man. Interesting the way that people are looking at this game, because I do look at this game in confidence because of the way that we've been playing. Listen, if we can play the way that we did against Spurs and Liverpool, we shouldn't have any problem picking up 3 points against the Leeds side that, let's be honest, is nowhere near their quality as a team and individually. I don't think this is going to be a difficult test like some. I do think we'll get through it. I think the way we're starting games at the moment is going to be a massive advantage to us, because Leeds are the sort of team that once you do go a goal up against, they can crumble. And that's why I'm confident with this one. So I do expect a clean sheet. Away from home, our clean sheets have been superb. At home, we ain't kept one. But away from home, we've done really well. So I'm expecting another clean sheet. And I'm going to go for a 3-0 victory. I think it'll be a convincing one, this one. It's not the one that I look at and go, oh, I can't see this sneak in this one. So there's always been goals in this game in over the last couple of years that Leeds have been back in the Premier League. I can remember the 4-2s and the 2-0s and the 5-1s. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 in this fixture, and I think it'll be a comfortable one. I don't expect there to be any shock changes. I think it'll be the same team that played against Liverpool, other than Kieran Tierney perhaps coming in at left back. I think everything else will be kept the same unless we've got injuries that I don't know of. But other than that, I expect it to be a comfortable victory for Arsenal. The way we're playing at the moment, Turkish, it's looking great, and we're starting games so strong that I just think will be too much for Leeds.
Yeah, no, let me bring the prediction table up as well before we do move on to everyone got a point off the Bordeaux game. No one got the correct score. Lee still at the top, shaking his head there. A 1 point lead on James, a 3 point lead on me and Jordan there, a 4 point lead. Not much between us. It's still very early. Ah, shit, I forgot to change that games played as well. That's actually starting to bug me now as well. I'll change that for the next one, people. I'll change that for the next one. Lee, you're top of the table. So go on, before I let everyone know what James's prediction is, what's yours?
I think it'd be a tough game. I know what Dan's saying there. Like, we've scored 3 goals quite regularly this season. It seems to be their go-to sort of scoreline. But I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go for a clean sheet. I think we defend a little bit better and we keep the ball. When we play at home, we're a bit more gun-ho and we leave ourselves exposed a little bit. But when we're at home, we're very, very tight. So I'm looking for a 2-0 win. And don't you dare follow that, Jordan.
James has gone 2-1, 2-1 Arsenal. And I've also gone 2-0, Lee.
I don't mind you going 2-0 Turkish.
Yeah, but it's annoyed me because I need to catch up to you. But I'm going to stick with it because I just think I just think the clean sheets away, our away performances in the Premier League this season have been better than our home performances so far, and that's saying something because our home performances have been good as well, have been solid, especially the last couple of games, Tottenham, Liverpool. 2-0. I'm going 2-0. Jordan, you've heard everyone's predictions.
Yeah, see, I've got a feeling it's going to be a draw. I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be a draw. But equally, I've got to play tactical now because this is getting silly now. I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to go 2-0.
What have you done? What have you done, Lee?
Jordan, look at that table, man. Look at that table.
I can't get caught adrift. I've got to stick with Turkish and Lee.
What have you done?
Oh,
I think this is the first ever three exact same predictions. I think it is the first time that's ever happened on the show.
Yeah,
I want to caveat this though. I think it will be a draw, but for the table's sake, I'm going 2-0. I'm going 2-0.
It's so early to be doing this sort of tactic.
No, it's not. It's not, man. I need to get this season going. Come on.
Ah, cool.
2-0.
But if it is a draw now, you're gonna be even more upset than usual. But yeah, let me take that off the screen. Lee's top, James is second, I'm third, Jordan's fourth. 4 points separate Jordan from Lee at the top. And all the predictions are in. Dan's gone 3-0 Arsenal. Me, Lee, and Jordan have gone 2-0. James has gone 2-1. Dan, let them know where they can find you, because as well as Lee Judges TV, you've got your own channel as well.
Yeah, man, I have started my own channel a few months ago. So I've got Football's 12 Man podcast on YouTube. Come hit me up over there. On my way to 6K, people. So if you can come help me, that'd be amazing. Much appreciate that. And yeah, Dan Arsenal 87 on socials. Cheers for that, Turkish.
No worries, Dan, man. We'll put that in the description as well. Lee, I forgot to get the comment of the week out of you. So
yes,
we might as well end with it.
Yes, we've got a good one this week. Now, I'm not going to pronounce the second name on this one, because I'm going to have bad enough trouble doing the first name, you know what I mean? So I think it's Owindi. And this is his comment. My favourite podcast, been waiting all day long for this. Big up, Lee, James and Turkish. Fantastic.
Windy, you've done me dirty there. You've done me dirty. But I love you too, Windy. I love you too. I love you too.
That's such a subtle dig. It's just beautiful. I can't even lie. That was actually beautiful.
Listen, keep those comments coming because they do make us laugh and we enjoy it. It's a bit of banter and all that. And we're going to keep picking the best one. But listen, do you know there was 707 comments this week? That is incredible. So keep them coming. We do appreciate the support and we're trying to interact with that one there. So that was a good one.
704 of them were about Jordan.
That's what I was going to say. It's slagging me off.
People, listen. Big up Jordan making time for us whilst he's away. Big up Lee making time for us whilst he's had no sleep, a delayed flight, and a trip back from cold Bordeaux. And big up Dan for slotting in for James. Make sure you guys check out the description below. His channel link is there. Lee Judges TV, you know about that already. And you can catch Jordan, mainstream, YouTube, all of that. You know what it is already, people. Love for the love. Hit the like button and leave us your thoughts in the comment section below. Peace. We'll be back after Leeds.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.